Hey guys, Thomas from the Switch Shop here, and welcome to a day that I never thought would happen. Do you hear that? That is the sound of an official Nintendo box sent to me. I don't even, how did they even find my address? But seriously, I never thought this day would happen. I am so excited to open this up. I have no idea what could be in here. They don't even have any big games coming out soon to my knowledge, so I want to see what's inside this thing. Let's open it up. Turns out there was a pull here mark all along. What an epic goof. I can't wait to see what's inside this box. Oh my god! Is that Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch? This is insane! Everybody, and I mean everybody, wanted this game. Why'd they send it to me? This is actually insane. I don't even know what to say. Let's just go play it. Let's go.
Alright, we're up here. This is going to be a first-time reaction, first-time gameplay ever, world premiere of Super Smash Bros. For the Switch.
What the hell? Labo's not that bad. At least they gave me cardboard in the box. Oh, right. Guess it's time to do it myself. Nintendo Labo is Nintendo's brand new line of cardboard accessories that you create and then use to play in Nintendo Switch games. The project is supposed to launch within a week of me launching this, as long as editing doesn't take too long. Editor's note, editing's taking really long. And with the launch of Nintendo Labo, 2 different sets, or Toy-Cons as they call it, are coming out. One is the Variety Pack. It includes 5 different sets inside of it, really, just meant to show off what Labo is and can do. And then the cooler one, in my opinion, is the Robot. Now, being a high school kid without a job just doing YouTube, I'm poor as hell. But I figured, hey, I could probably make this. I mean, it's just cardboard, right? So with that out of the way, this is my attempt at DIY Nintendo Labo. I'm going to be replicating 2 different Labo Toy-Cons. The first one I'm going to be replicating is the piano from the Variety set. It was the first ever Labo Toy-Con we were ever shown, and seems to be sort of the poster boy of this entire thing. Last, but certainly not least, I'm going to be making the Nintendo Labo Robot. Or at least trying to. With that out of the way, let's get building the first Toy-Con. So, in order to make our own makeshift Labo, we're gonna need a couple of things. One of them is a makey-makey. This is how our makeshift Labos actually work. I already talked about it in a previous video, so suffice it to say that it can make a keyboard out of literally anything. Besides that, all we're gonna need really is some aluminum foil, tape, scissors, and, well, some cardboard. Starting off, I didn't need too much cardboard, so I just cut off one of those shipping flaps from the top of this big box. After folding it for a bit, I was able to get it into a relatively good shape for what we needed. The piano was just going to be small, and my vision was to have the keys over here and the electric wiring stuff over here. I kind of was able to instantly fold it into the shape I wanted, which was really nice and quite time-saving. Using that, I slid in 5 keys of aluminum foil and made sure they were poking through past the part where the keys were into the electrical wiring sort of cupboard. This was a mistake I made. Make sure these aren't touching each other, because if they're touching each other, then the energy will be sent through each other. It just doesn't work. Just make sure they're not touching each other if for some reason you're following along. Then I taped them all down and clipped alligator clips to the back of each one. With every single key having its unique alligator clip, I clipped the ends of those clips to the makey-makey. Last, but certainly not least, I held the earth wire. So basically, I was getting a signal sent through me, and every single time I touched one of the keys, that same signal would go through the tinfoil of the key, through the alligator clip, back to the makey-makey, and trick the computer into think I was just pressing a button on the keyboard. After a bit of tampering around with it, I got all the keys to work perfectly fine and was able to play the piano no problem.
Damn it! That would have been so cool.
It was so easy that I even added in a 6th key for the sole purpose that I could play the Little Root Melody from Pokemon. Now, when rating these Toy-Cons, we're going to rate them on 2 separate scales. How fun they were to make, and how fun they are to play with. Because that's what Nintendo Labo's all about, making and playing. So, for the making of this, it was pretty fun. There was nothing too challenging though, and while obviously it was nice to just kind of have a straightforward build, I wish there were 1 or 2 more challenges that actually, well, made me think outside the box, because this is pretty much just straight wiring. However, the piano is meant to be a very simple Labo build, so with that out of the way, I'd say it gets a 3 out of 5 on the making scale. But how about the playing? I realized that I'm not Nintendo Labo's main target. Kids are. So I invited my younger sister Nora down to play. After she had a fair amount of time with the keyboard, I sat her down for an interview.
So Nora, how'd you like the keyboard?
I really liked it because you could make up your own tunes and sounds, and it was very easy to make, and it's really cool.
So, was there anything you didn't like about the keyboard?
There's a couple things. One, there's just a lot of wires, but I know you can't really fix that. And then 2, I feel like after a while I might get a little bored just because it's pretty simple, but it's really cool for I don't know, a little while.
So, if you had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give it?
For how fun it is, I'd probably say a 3, maybe a 4.
Alright, good to know. Thank you, Nora.
So all in all, the piano was a success. It was very easy to build, and it was just pretty straightforward, and it leaves you with a relatively good result in just, well, a cardboard piano. It also replicates the actual Labo piano pretty well. I mean, the Labo piano has actual keys, and I'm sure there's way more than, well, just hitting keys, but it works pretty well, and if I had to guess, it's not going to be too far off from what the actual Nintendo Labo keyboard has to offer. So the piano represented the first set of Toy-Con, the Variety Pack. However, the second set of Toy-Con is going to be a lot more difficult. There is only one Toy-Con in the second set, and it is a robot. The robot consists of a big backpack, which is connected to your feet, arms, and head, and you use all of your limbs to navigate a robot through a giant city, punching it with your arms and walking through it with your legs. That's the basic gist of it, and there's no way I can do that. Did you seriously think I was going to code an entire game just for this video? There's a reason it's called Labo on a budget. So we're gonna have to scrap the punching and kicking mechanic entirely. Instead, we're just gonna be walking around the city. However, what city are we gonna be walking around? Why not one from real life? Using Google Earth, we can navigate most places on this Earth, so why not use that? Perfect, so now we have our actual program and the basic idea of what I want to make. I planned it so we have cardboard feet attached to our feet in real life, because I think taking a step in real life and then seeing your character take a step on the screen is kind of just incredible, and that's really something awesome. Like, seriously, that would be so fun. And unfortunately, we can't use our arms to punch, but how about we use them for camera control instead? When you touch the button on your right hand, the camera looks right, and vice versa. However, we should start with the feet, as they definitely seem to be the most complicated. So with that out of the way, let's get working on them. Cutting off one of those cardboard flaps again, I traced around my feet and made the cardboard a bit bigger, that way anyone could wear them. With the base of the feet done, I put tinfoil all around the bottom and made sure a little sliver of it came up to the top so that the tinfoil itself would be touching your skin, which is on your feet. That way the current can be transferred through you, through your foot, through the tinfoil to the bottom of the shoe, and then once it's on the tinfoil on the bottom of the shoe, it will hit this tinfoil on the ground, which is connected to a wire which goes up to the makey. And I was not sure if this was gonna work at all. I mean, it just seemed like too many variables. Here's my first test.
Okay, so this is Project Giant Robo ripoff test number 1. So I'm holding the earth cable here. It's hard to focus it on one thing, and I positioned the Google Earth. So right now there's a current, since I'm holding this, there's an electrical current going through me down there to my shoes, which my feet are touching the makeshift sandals and the tinfoil, which is wrapped around to the bottom of the tinfoil, which when I step on this tinfoil will go back up to the makey, pressing the up arrow key, moving the picture. This is test 1. Hopefully this works. Oh my god. That is awesome. And I think I just ripped the tinfoil.
So yeah, it somehow actually worked, and that's just insane. Knowing that that works, we can kind of just do a simpler version of it for the hands. I grabbed 2 toilet paper rolls and put tinfoil on top of the rolls, attaching the clips to the top of the tinfoil that goes all the way over to the makey allowed you to hold the toilet paper roll and press the tinfoil whenever you wanted to turn the camera in that direction. That's pretty much it. Now, it may seem like that only took a couple of minutes, but that's not the case. There were many outtakes that I didn't get to include. I had multiple other completely different designs that didn't even work. However, I feel like if the kid had instructions, it would take them just the right amount of time to get this to work. Putting it on, it's incredible and quite frankly amazing to use your entire body to explore real-life locations. So making this thing was definitely a 5 out of 5, but how fun is it to play? I like it a lot, but once again, this is directed towards kids. So I invited Nora down once again.
So Nora, do you have any ideas what this is?
No.
Okay, what if I could tell you this mess of cardboard and wires can transport you anywhere you want to go?
That'd be really cool.
Alright, well it can't transport you, but it can make you feel like you're there. You can put your thumb right here, you can touch either side of it to move the Google Earth thing, okay? Touch either side of the tinfoil, but you gotta make sure the rest of your hand isn't touching, alright? Or else it'll glitch out, right? And now align it so you're aligned with the arrow. So move yourself that way, and take a step. So right now you're exploring Boston, our hometown. Keep going, just look around. Alright, so are you getting a little bit bored of Boston?
Yeah, maybe.
Alright. Well, next up, the Grand Canyon. Look around.
Oh my god. This is insane.
So once you've had enough of the Grand Canyon, you can move on over to our personal favorite destination, the Cayman Islands.
Oh my gosh.
Last but not least, this might be one of my favorite destinations, but you know what my absolute favorite is?
What?
Take a guess.
Disney World? Hey! I want to go to Cinderella's castle.
So Nora, how do you like the robot?
I absolutely love it. It's basically handmade virtual reality, and it's so awesome and so cool.
Is there anything you don't like about the robot?
I'd say the only thing is, again with this, there's just like a lot of wires and tinfoil and like stuff you need to do rather than like just regular virtual reality. But I mean, like, this is homemade and it's really just amazing.
So on the scale of 1 to 5, like you rated the piano before this, how would you rate this, considering that the piano was a 3?
5.
Explain.
I think it's so cool because, like, you can just go wherever you want just by walking in place and touching tinfoil. It's amazing.
Thank you, Nora. So yeah, she gives it a 5, I give it a 5. This thing is amazing. I had so much fun with this thing, and if I was able to have fun with it and I was just making something on my own, I am so excited to see what the engineers and developers at Nintendo have done. Anyway, the robot was incredibly fun to make, it was incredibly fun to play with, it was overall a massive success, and yeah, it was just really fun. Don't worry guys, I learned my lesson. After getting duped by the last package, now I know to only accept official packages by Nintendo. Like this one, it even says Nintendo on the side. I can't wait to see what the Big N actually sent me this time. Is that Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch? Let's give it a try. How am I supposed to do one of those crappy vlogger transitions when I can't reach the... Oh, there we go. Surprise, I'm up here now, and I can't wait to see what Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch has in store.